Hi, I'm Roger Bowers, and this is my wife Nancy. And our journey is a testimony of the power of prayer and God's faithfulness in answering those prayers. Not only our own prayers, but your prayers and the prayers of others who believe that we need to reach the unreached. God has broken our hearts for a people group of 3 million people. Of these 3 million people, there are only about 300 known believers. This unreached people group is called the Basque people, and they live mainly on the border of France and Spain. The history of the Basque is steeped in animism, and nowadays they're atheist, agnostic, or following many different false religions. So after joining Pioneers, it took us 4 years of fundraising and training to reach the point of moving to the field. So we arrived in France in 2017 and proceeded to learn the French language, a not so easy task for people over 50. In 2018, we began an internship with the church east of Marseille to learn the culture of the French church. This proved to be essential to what we've been doing for the past year.
After arriving in the French Basque at the end of 2020, we began to integrate into the community of small town life in the Basque country. We went to the local Catholic charities and offered to volunteer there. They said they had enough volunteers, but if we wanted to, we could teach English as a foreign language class. Of course, we said yes, and they gave us the keys to the Catholic charities.
We've also been volunteering at a local food pantry where we've met many Basque people. We're building relationships with them so that we can share the hope of salvation with them. There are only about 2,000 people in our village of Saint-Pelé, but we're feeding over 50 families from the food pantry. This also allows us to meet some of the needy in the community.
We were taking a French course that the Catholic charities offered. There was only one other person in class with us, a Venezuelan lady who's a political refugee. She found out that we are Christians and her eyes lit up. After class, we talked to her and decided to start having worship services in our home. That was about 1 month after we arrived in Saint-Pelé. It is truly amazing how God answers yours and our prayers.
Our little house church quickly outgrew the 6-person limit on meetings in a home that was set by the French government, so we started having 2 services. That also quickly filled up, and we began to pray for a larger venue to have church. One of the pastors along the coast, an hour away from us, knew someone who has a second home in a neighboring village. We began having services there Easter Sunday, and now we have 26 people who come to church and a few who only come if we have a potluck. We're praying for a larger venue, but first we need a pastor. So please pray with us for a pastor to shepherd the congregation.
There are 10 different nationalities represented in the congregation. With this, we believe God is raising up a team to reach the Basque people. We're working on training them to reach out to their friends and neighbors with the hope of salvation that Jesus is offering.
There's so much more we could tell you if we had the time. But to end this, I will say that God has shown us that as Christians, we've been given the keys to the kingdom. Now it's our job to share these keys as freely as we've been given the keys to those buildings. We say that God uses the simple to confound the wise. When we came to the Basque country, people would just hand us the keys that we needed to continue the mission. This symbolized to us that God has freely and widely opened the doors and handed us, all of us as Christians, the keys to the kingdom. The verse that we have for you today is exactly how we feel that God has used us. He has called us and He has equipped us for the mission to the Basque.
It's by the grace of God and your prayers and financial support that we can work among the Basque people. So thank you.